Hi guys, welcome back for another week of the PMCO Open Scrims. You'll be hanging out with me once again today. First map today is going to be Erangel. Let's see what our first line for this round is going to be. So we're going to go from Novo basically all the way up, just a little bit past Lipovka. So we should most likely see a bunch of teams all over military base as well as Novo, and potentially all over Milta Small Power, and Big Power. Don't suspect anybody is probably going to be heading up to Zakari, George Pool, anything like that. They're going to have to be dropping the vehicles to get up there. So I do suspect that we should see some players dropping from the road from Pachinki to Gatka. Most likely looking for those vehicles to go up to that area since nobody will technically be there. So should be pretty open for everybody to go ahead and start looting and prepare for endgame. So actually pretty surprising. One team only going military. It's going to be Team 14. It's going to be Oxide. And let's go over here with Team 11, Omega Dragons. They're going to have some players from, actually, I think just one player over here from Team 5, and it is going to be Marilyn from MVP Gaming. So we're going to be looking at a 1v1 right here. And I did see another player off in the distance. I believe it was Antho. So potentially could have some backup as long as these guys can get some weapons. And you can see airwaves just off in the distance making the rotation through the trees. Possibly heading to the quarry area. It's the only thing in that direction other than Primorsk way down the road unless they're going for like a wide flank. And we're going to have a pretty good spot for this first zone. It's going to be pretty much dead centered. It's going to be pretty much all land except for the very top right there above Severny. So we're also going to have two more players from Team 11 over here. They're going to be on top of one of the players from MVP Gaming right here. So Team 5 has a bunch of their players singled out right now. So let's see how they end up coming back from this one. You can see Antifa just off in the distance, slowly making their approach. Let's see if they can end up getting a nade through that window, getting the knock right there onto Danny. And gets it through the window, but just back in the corner right here, directly in front of them. And I believe this is going to be the push. We're going to be seeing a 2v1 right here. And one knock. This one's going to be down onto Antifa. Danny ends up dropping down out the backside window. And I believe Sebi is going to go for the revive rather than go for the last 2 HP right there onto Danny. And that's going to give them the opportunity to go ahead and try to run away. Going to go prone right here behind the bushes. And hopefully we'll see them later in this round. Going to go switch off to somebody else, see what these guys are up to. Was going to stay here at Yaznai. It did look like people were relatively close to each other, but turns out not the case. Seeing a nice knock come out from, I believe it was Broody? just off in the distance right there for Team 11, getting the knock on to one of the players from Team 19. Unfortunately, they did not have a helmet, so that AK, if it lands, is pretty deadly for those headshots. As you can see, it only took one to get the knock. So let's see if Lynn can possibly get over here to get the revive onto their teammate. If not, you can see what is that? UG just off in the distance as well. So we're gonna have two solos over here, as well as three players from Team 19, which is gonna be Butterfly Effect. So the solos are gonna be off of one from MVP Gaming, and the other one is gonna be from Omega Dragons. We are going to hear some shots just off in the distance now. This is going to be coming from Antho, going to get the knock onto Lynn. Maryland going to come off the backside of the wall right there, push forward for the thirst. That's going to go ahead and give Team 5, I believe, their first kill of this round. And the one player for Team 19 is going to go ahead and bleed out. Maryland is caught out in the open right there by Brody, ends up getting knocked. So let's see what Antho can do in this situation. Is he going to go for the knock or the revive first? And Antho comes out with the knock onto Broody, so that is going to give them free reign over the city right here. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here, see what everybody else is currently up to. See a whole bunch of knocks coming through the kill feed. So let's see if I can get over there before it ends up finishing and see if we can get this on stream for you guys today. So as you can see coming through the kill feed, Antho went over and went ahead and thirsted his knock onto the one player from MVP Gaming, or was it MVP? Or was it? No, I think it was Omega Dragons. I'm sorry about that. So currently, there's really not a whole lot of teams close to each other. We are seeing Team 11 and Team 19. What's left of the two teams getting somewhat close to each other down there by Ferry Pier, as well as Team 5. They're starting to regroup as well. We're seeing two teams up here in the Yasnaya area. Currently, we're going to be spectating in with Echo of Triumph. You can now hear Team 18 storming in on the bottom floor, and this is going to be backstab moving up through this apartment complex. Oh, this is not going to be good. It's about to be a 4v1. Let's see what Apollo can do in this situation. And gets the first knock, jumps out the back of the apartment building, and unfortunately does not have a whole lot of health. Ends up taking the rest of the damage as soon as they fall to the ground. That's very, very unfortunate right there. But I definitely know what he was trying for on that one. If you jump out these windows on any of the apartment buildings properly, you can see these edges right here on every single floor. You can go ahead and make these everybody think that you ended up basically running away, and you can just sit here on these ledges in the corner where they can't even see you. Go ahead and heal back up, and the only thing they can do is try to get outside, try to get an angle on you, but by then you should be pretty good on your health situation and could possibly even put up a better fight by then. So it's just all about trying new things. So we are starting to see the teams start to spread out just a little bit more now. Team 11 ended up leaving, where Team 19 and Team 5 were at Ferry Pier, just at the very bottom down there. They're all going to want to start to go ahead and make their rotation forward. As you can see, the zone is slowly moving in. And Team 13 ends up passing up Team 8 over there at the mansion. Actually, surprised we didn't see any kind of shots come out of that one at all. And we're going to see some knocks come out from, I believe that's Maryland just up the hill right there. As you can see, Antho is knocked off in the distance. And these are the two teams that have been facing off basically since we started this round. What's up, guys? Welcome to Trovo. Thank you for tuning into the channel. What's up, Sundai? How are you doing, dude? I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I promise I am not ignoring you. And we're going to go ahead and see the next zone go ahead and shift up to the northeast. This isn't actually going to leave a whole lot of teams out of it. They're pretty much all within this zone already. It wasn't too drastic at all. We're only going to have, well, we're going to have Team 7 coming in directly behind Team 19 at this point. So this could be pretty bad right here for fine for Team 19. You can see the shots coming out from Team 7 now. They are going to land quite a few right there. And there's just going to be too many around. Grill and Tobias ended up being on top of the hill as Neon and Naruto ended up landing some shots from distance. Tried to get some cover behind the tree. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. And just happened to not even know a team ended up rotating directly behind. So ends up happening quite a bit in this game. You just always got to keep your eyes peeled. Just try to find vehicles at all times. Vehicles are your absolute lifeline in this game, especially when it comes to the final zones. You can use them for cover, everything like that. So it's a pretty big part of this game. So we're going to go ahead and spectate in with Groza now. And for a second, I did think Team 4 MVP Delta was going to go ahead and stop. They ended up rotating down to the compound just below to the east. Only problem with that compound, it is completely open from all sides. So if zone ends up shifting away and they have to move and there are teams everywhere, it's pretty much just like shooting ducks in a barrel. So I'm going to go back here to these couple teams just outside of the zone. You can see they're somewhat close together. One of the players for Team 11 ends up taking some shots from one of the players from Team 5, I believe. It does look like Militia is going to go ahead and push over to Maryland, pick them up in a vehicle, and try to make it into this zone. Let's see if Antifa can go ahead and get Sebi back up before this zone ends up pushing all the way in. Hopefully they have some bandies to go ahead and get that revive started. And here comes the gatekeep from Team 5. MVP Gaming going to try to get the 2 easy kills right here. These guys are going to have no option except to go ahead and fight this one out. Militia almost ends up getting knocked right there, trying to get the nade over here onto these guys. And you can see Antho off in the distance as well. This is going to give this team absolutely no cover. Antho should have some pretty good shots back there. So let's go ahead and check in with him. And he is going to go ahead and get the last one. So that's going to go ahead and give them 5 kills already for this round. And I believe they do have vehicles, so they should have a pretty easy getaway into this zone. Hopefully they have some health to go ahead and heal back up. let's hope they can get some stuff off of those bodies right there. And we are going to see a complete hard shift up to the north. This is going to be a mountain ending, complete open. This is where you're going to want all of those vehicles, all of the smokes. You're going to need as much kind of cover as you can create in this one. So Ultimate the Cat German gonna be in the 3 stack straight ahead. You can see them all pouring out of that building. Most likely end up going to their vehicles parked directly behind, make their rotation into the next zone. So with this zone, definitely as early as possible. That way they can get a spot to go ahead and claim. As you can see, some knocks coming out right there from Ghost with the DP. And let's go over here and check in with Ghost. You can see a bunch of damage done to that vehicle right there. The DP is absolutely nasty if you can get those shots landed. And here comes Team 5 once again. Maryland is going to be pushing up on the buggy. It's going to end up getting out right behind the back of that one dune. It's going to have Antho for some backup. They're going to get the knock on the Ghost as they push up. Actually, no. Team 7 is going to be there to go ahead and third party this one. And Harami's going to go ahead and go prone inside of the smoke. Out comes a nade from one of the players from Team 7 over there. It's going to be Team Air. They're going to be sitting over here trying to gatekeep both of these teams from trying to come through. And if Harami has enough health to go ahead and wait this one out, I would definitely stay there if at all possible. From what I can tell, he's going to pop another smoke, but that's definitely going to give away his position, letting them know that there's still somebody alive right there by those blown up vehicles. So that's going to give them somewhere to go ahead and focus their efforts to. And I believe Team 5 is going to go ahead and hop in their vehicles and make the rotation away. Let's go ahead and check in with Grill over here. And they're going to go ahead and take Harami out. So definitely should have just laid behind one of those blown up vehicles, not popped any kind of smokes, no kind of fire, and just let this team make their rotation out of here and just pray that there is a vehicle outside of Watertown. So they're going to go ahead and get a knock and a thirst over here onto Antho. Maryland's going to go ahead and have to make the rotation by themselves. So let's go up here to the zone and check in with all of these teams up here. We're going to have a cluster just on the right-hand side of the zone. The only reason I hate having dogs is their dog hair gets stuck to my face. It's like super itchy. At least it's only during the summertime that it's crazy. So we're going to be seeing some knocks come out right here on a Team 17. One of their players, unfortunately, is going to get thirsted. I believe that is going to be coming from Team 3 just up the hill. Out comes another knock over here onto Hisk for XLR8. And unfortunately, that is going to leave them down to a 2-man fairly early in this, third to last circle? And we're going to see a hard shift one more time. This one's going to go completely to the west and center up on, I believe, half of the team. So should be pretty fortunate for some of these guys. Make the rotation fairly easy for them. Others, like these guys, going to have to fight their way in. Ziggy going to go ahead and aim down the sights over there at Bran. Fortunately for Bran, they're going to be behind a tree. definitely no shots landed over there. One of the players from the cat gonna get a knock onto one of the players right here for Team 18. They're gonna go ahead and bleed out with that last couple HP. And you can see, what is it? Brand over there trying to third party this one. Tried to land the shots onto Zuki as they made the rotation over here to the vehicles. They're going to go ahead and smoke these out. Try to keep them safe so they can make their rotation after this is all said and done. And here comes the zone. So bad part for Brand right here. Unfortunately, that vehicle is already on fire. Definitely not going to want to drive that thing into this zone. It's not going to take a whole lot of shots to make it go boom. So definitely want to get to start running, especially with how much damage this zone is going to start causing at any second as soon as it gets to its point. It's a good idea to go ahead and leave early, especially when you don't have a vehicle. We're seeing quite a few teams go out by the play zone now. Let's go over here and check in with some of these guys. Let's go up straight to Team 3 over here. Going to be taking on Prism Esports just outside of this compound. And I believe they are going to end up being the victors in this exchange. So I believe they are going to have the only compound in this zone. I'm not sure if that warehouse is within. I believe it is just out. So Militia's going to come out with a knock onto one of the players. Where'd it go? Well, let's just go ahead and spectate with him. Oh, this could be bad. Fortunately for Militia, this little shack is within the zone. Only going to have to worry about Luffy right there, but problem for Luffy is Militia, all he has to do is sit here and gatekeep. They're going to have to leave that warehouse. And let's go over here and check in with Maryland now. You can see Team 10 going to be rotating by, trying to get some knocks out of those vehicles, get some easy kills. And Lazy end up getting the knock on Azuki over here behind the tree. And Hellboy's going to go ahead and push up. Luffy ends up rotating right on the very edge. And going to stop, jump out. Maryland is going to be right there, but Militia ends up getting the last couple shots. Let's just go ahead and try to push up just a little bit. Militia ends up getting a knock over here onto Evo, one of the players for Team 3 just at the compound up the hill. And with as far as Evo is away from the rest of the team, I highly doubt a revive is going to come out of this one. It's definitely about the safety of the entire team. There's no point in losing one player to get another one up, but it does look like they're going to go ahead and try to pull it off. They are going to eliminate Militia just down the way. So that's who end up landing the shots over here onto these guys. So it's possible that they could potentially pull this off with no issues. And Lazy going to take Maryland out. That is going to be the last player alive for MVP Gaming. So we're going to be down to our final 4 teams now. We're looking at 2 duos over here. Team 7 and Team 6 going back and forth between each other. SK for Groza now is going to be knocked. It does look like Complex is going to attempt to go for the revive. And you can see they are definitely trying hard with the nades right now to try to eliminate them. And that third one ends up landing. So that brings us down to our final 3. We're going to go ahead and see Team 3 take on Team 10 now. So it is just down to Wesh now. And that's going to be 2 knocks onto Team 3. Evo pushes in, runs him over with a vehicle. And I believe this is down to Naruto over there for Team 7. Question is, can Neon get over there in time to get the revive off? And the answer is no. Evo ends up thirsting that one. So we are looking at, are both of these players knocked? And they're not. I thought both of these guys were knocked. So we're about to be looking at a 4v1 right now. So I'm going to go over here, spectate in with Naruto, and see how this one ends up unfolding. So we have seen it in the past. Oh, sorry guys, I just woke up. I'm in a completely different time zone. And ends up showing himself, dropping some stuff, ends up exposing his backside just a little bit right there. And they end up taking full advantage of it. Only took a couple shots from, it sounded like a DP, and thing is pretty nasty when you're accurate with it. So Team 3 ends up winning that round. So very nice job to those guys. So we're going to go ahead and get the next round set up, guys. So stay tuned. I believe we're going to be taking 10-minute breaks in between matches. So if you want to go ahead and stick around in the stream, I'll be talking in Twitch chat as well as Trovo. So just stick around and we will be back momentarily, guys. Hi guys, welcome back for round number 2. This round we're going to be playing on Miramar. Plane line is going to go from Torrey all the way down to Los Higos. So definitely every drop possible on this one. So with it going where it is down the straight center, there's really no two teams should technically have to land with each other. So on this round, what was it? Last round we had about 70 people, so we have, I believe, a team worth of extra guys this round. So it shouldn't be too crazy. But once you start getting into like the high 80s and 90s, to me it's not as much fun. It puts more lag into the game, making it a lot harder for the people playing. So I try to stick to like 21, 22 teams when I personally do my own. So this is the kind of number that I like to stick around. It, in my opinion, makes things more fair for the people playing, and it's, I guess, kind of more towards like PMCO and all that stuff. They don't run full lobbies in pretty much any kind of tournament. And if you want to know why, that's pretty much the reason right there. I don't know why there's so much lag when you're around people, but that's how this game's been for a little bit now. All right, so we're gonna be checking in with Team 8 and Team 4 over here. This is gonna be Outlaw Gaming as well as MVP Delta. As you can see, just a little bit farther out. One of the players for Team 8 is gonna be just a little singled out from the rest of the team. Going to be right on top of Fletch in the compound straight ahead. If they don't play it correctly right here, as you can see, I'm just off in the distance. Could have a shot on them with absolutely no issues. So they're going to want to try to stay out of the line of sight, use objects and everything for things to hide behind. But it doesn't look like they're doing that. So they're definitely getting lucky on this one. Let's head down here with Echo of Triumph and Team 3. It's going to be War Dynasty. So Sparky did get the line of sight right there onto MSSR and didn't take the shots. Definitely could have landed a good, probably 2 to 3 right there. Especially with that Tommy would have done a ridiculous amount of damage. And they're going to go ahead and single off the one. And here comes the push forward. They're going to move in and go for the thirst. This is going to bring Team 22 down to a 2-man on the opposite side of the road. Unfortunately, they did lose Apollo. Wasn't sure where he actually was. I didn't see him on my screen, but I did see him go out in the kill feed. So I'm wondering if he wasn't even in this location, unless I'm just that blind. So here comes the rest of War Dynasty. Now going to go ahead and push forward to the 3-stack compound just in front of this other team. You can see Sparky moving back and forth. Definitely hearing these footsteps, trying to get a line of sight on these guys, trying to relay some info to his teammate just behind. And here comes a push forward. Off angle from Evo. Gets the knock onto Sparky. Now it is just going to be down to 4-way inside of the church. Let's go over here and spectate in, see what they're up to. Gonna try to get to that vehicle as quickly as possible, make their way out, try to get themselves some placement points in this round. And who else is pretty close? Let's go over here with Team 20 and Team 13. So Kiwi trying to land some shots onto, what is that, Yume? Unfortunately for them, they are already down to a 2-man. As you can see, Peace has the off angle directly behind. Placed a couple good shots onto Kiwi through the open doorway. And here comes a knock onto Owen from Brax. So right now, as you can see, they have literally almost every angle covered on this team. So there's nowhere Kiwi can go in this situation. So Yume is now going to use the little crevice right there, right beside the road. Give them the opportunity to go ahead and push forward. Kiwi now tries to backtrack a little bit, and as soon as they pull out their gun, takes the last couple shots right there. Very nice job that you made to get the last couple. And I believe that's going to go ahead and give them 2 kills to start this round off really early. I'm going to go over here with Team 19 now. Let's check in with these guys. It's going to be Butterfly Effect. And they are pretty much going to be on top of Omega Dragons at this point. As you can see, they're going to have one player playing the high ground. That's going to be their Overwatch. And it's going to be Test up there at the little 3 stack, whatever oil refinery thing just on top of the hill. So as you can see from this layout, Yugi has gone for the wide flank around the church. It's very possible they could come up on the one side right there and land the shots onto Antifa behind the wall right there, but ended up moving more towards Sebi over here. And why did Tess leave that? So, in my opinion, right there, Tess should have honestly stayed up there and played Overwatch. Um, if they didn't have a scope, I can definitely understand those struggles. But out comes a knock from Test onto Victoria. And let's see how much of an opportunity this gives Team 11 to go for some different angles. As you can see, Lynn is going to get the knock onto Antifa before they can move up to that little shack. And Sebi was right there to go ahead and provide the cover fire needed for Antifa to crawl inside without getting thirsted. Now they're also going to have to worry about MVP Delta moving into this location right now. They're going to be just off in the distance, trying to pick off these easy shots and try to get some third-party kills onto this one. As you can see, they did get a knock onto, I believe it was Fine, which is just going to leave Yugi by themselves inside of the church. So as long as he plays a smart, doesn't make any like crazy amount of movement, they could potentially just leave him alone and get a lot farther into this round. So I do see 2 of the players for MVP Delta are in a vehicle. My only question right now is, are they trying for the wide flank coming or trying to come up right here behind Team 11 and sandwich them in between 2 duos for this team? And Godspeed gonna get the knock onto one of the players, and then it's gonna be Sebi just on that right hand side. Does get the thirst off pretty quickly. And it does look like Fine was able to crawl over here and get the revive from his teammate. So that should give them a much easier time if anybody decides to crash this compound. So in the meantime, let's see what everyone else is currently up to. While I wait for these teams to engage each other. It does look like we're going to have a trio just not too far away from here. So soon as one of these guys end up losing some members, we'll go ahead and switch over to them and see how everything's going down between those teams. Here comes a push up from the two members from Team 4 on the bike. They're going to go ahead and jump out on the backside. And I believe here comes a push forward from the other two. They're going to sandwich them into the one compound right here. Definitely thought they were going to try to smoke off their angles. And Tifa tries to get the last couple shots onto Godspeed, gets him down to just a couple HP, pushes forward and gets the knock, tries to go for the third, but Hellboy was right there for backup. Very nice job to these guys to go ahead and basically cover each other. That's something you're not going to see a whole lot of. Personally, when I see people playing scrims, there's not a whole lot of people that actually work as a unit. They're pretty much out for themselves, padding their stats and stuff like that. That's something I see a lot in this game. So I love to see teams that actually work together for a goal, and it's that getting first place. Thank you for that follow, Bionic. So now I'm going to rotate over here to Team 14. So let's see what Oxide's currently up to. Like I said earlier, we did have a trio of teams directly around these guys. So off in the distance, we're going to be seeing MVP Gaming as well as Accelerate. And it doesn't look like now Groza has moved into this area now as well. Accelerate is going to be crashing the compound directly behind these guys, but I believe as soon as they ended up pulling up, they all hopped in their vehicles a couple seconds before and started making the rotation out. So I'm going to go back here to these couple teams once again. And it does now look like Team 15, which is going to be Buzzkill, has rotated into this area now as well. And they're going to be right in the very middle of these two teams. As you can hear, vehicles moving in right onto Fine. He's trying to land some shots onto Abstract. Does a couple HP worth of damage. And it's definitely going to give away their position and let Buzz know that there's people in this area now. So Diana going to be on the opposite hill right here, trying to get some angles through these open windows. And it does look like Fine and Yugi are going to hop out to the backside. And do they have a vehicle? And I believe they don't. They're going to be using these old broken down cars for some cover, third person peeking, and basically just trying to see if these guys are end up going to go ahead and push them. Let's go up here and rotate in, check in with Come Get Some. And you're also going to see Team 7, which is going to be Team Air. Really not too far away from these guys. Scar, be nice to him. And they're going to be just third person peeking behind this wall, waiting for Team Air to make a mistake. The only kind of cover they're going to have right there is going to be that small little shack and the rock next to it. They could potentially rotate to my left, their right, and use the hill right here to get some kind of different angle. I would leave one person over here, have one rotate to the left right there, and just try to make something happen right here rather than just try to wait it out. Gonna go ahead and hop in that vehicle. Gonna take a bunch of damage. This is the major downfall of the buggy if you have two people. So there is absolutely no cover. What's up, General? How you doing? I'm on a little bit of a delay. You'll see it in just a second. Thank you for the follow as well. Ooh, I forgot to say I was going live. As I have said in my streams before, I am doing the Trovo Creator Program. So every time I go live, so it can keep track of what I'm doing so I can get paid, I have to post in their Discord. Sometimes I do forget, like I just did now. So I have to go back and basically make it known how long ago that actually went live. Let's go back over here to War Dynasty, see what these guys are up to. I do see a solo for Butterfly Effect, not too far away for these guys. And what direction are they actually in at this moment? So it's going to be the two players from earlier. They're going to be quite some distance apart up here in the refinery areas. Nothing too crazy, but let's see what everybody else is currently up to. I'm going to go up here, check in with Team 8. I do see a cluster of teams coming in through the zone on their side. You can see Team 15 is inside of some vehicles making their rotation forward. I believe they ended up just jumping out. And here comes the knock onto Chillax on top of this hill. One of the players for Buzz currently knocked and thirsted right there with a nade. And this is going to be coming from Team 5, MVP Gaming, just on the backside of the hill as well. Buzz has now started rotating further up this one, trying to get some cover in these little dips up here away from MVP. But they're still going to have to worry about Outlaw Gaming's directly below them into this compound. Chillax getting a little bit more HP done right there, and I believe Antho ends up stealing that kill away from Buzz. Thank you for the follow, Daniel. So I definitely appreciate all the follows, guys. I'm definitely trying to grow my Trovo channel right now, so any social media platform you're currently watching on, if you don't mind, I would love to have the followers on Trovo. I have to have a minimum for every stream of 5 on Trovo to maintain my minimum viewers. So if you don't mind, let's keep some people in that chat. Definitely would appreciate that. Not only on top of that, but if you wouldn't mind popping in my Twitch channel, just hitting that follow button, you don't have to stick around. Basically just trying to hit 1,000 followers, make my way into the PUBG Mobile VIP program, and would love to be able to stream one day to the actual PUBG Mobile channel, and that's what that VIP status gives me access to. So we're going to see a knock coming up from Antho once again with that M24 over here onto one of the members from Buzz. Let's see how they end up playing this one off. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get to their vehicles just below the ridge line right here. Let's check in with Team 16 now. And they should have a semi-decent spot in the zone, especially with Team 3 being all the way down the hill right there in the compound. I don't believe they'll have a line of sight on these guys at this point, so definitely a very good spot to go ahead and try to go ahead and gatekeep these teams from coming into the zone at this point. As you can see, Team A, Outlawed Gaming, ended up rotating in. They're going to use a small little ridge right there to the southwest for some cover, try to play some shots on these guys, but they're also going to have to worry about Team 14 right on the very end of the ridge. So they are placing some very good shots downrange. They're going to have a line of sight on all 3 of these teams at this point. So in my opinion, out of all of these 4 teams right here, they are definitely going to have the best spot. If you even look at the map, they almost have center zone. So these guys definitely going to be chilling for a little bit. We're seeing a bunch of knocks coming through the kill feed. Definitely nothing in this area yet. I believe it is going to be a bunch of play zone knocks coming up. As you can see, Team 6 up here trying to gatekeep. Well, I believe they did gatekeep. And I'm going to switch over here to Nakat real quick. So, third person peeking at, I believe, Team 5 up the hill, as far as I can tell. No, it's going to be 14. So, it's going to be, if zone ends up shifting away from these guys, it might be a little tricky for them to make the rotation off the very top of that one. Let's go up here with MVP real quick, see what these guys are currently up to. You can see the 2 players for Buzz going to be just over this hill in the small compound in the dip. And I'm coming out with the knock onto one of the players over there onto Team 14. I believe it's going to come out onto, I think it was Bobby. And Buzz ends up trying to push to the hill right here that MVP is currently controlling. They end up taking both of them down rather quickly. And Antho's going to go ahead and add one more to that with the confirm right there onto Harami. Thank you for the follow, Complex. So let's go back here one more time with Team 14, check in with these guys, see what's going down. So they are going to be on the very edge of the zone right now. I definitely thought these guys would have a much better location deeper inside of this one. Hopefully it doesn't shift too far away from them. Like I said earlier, it might be a little difficult making the rotation off of this hill. It's going to have some pretty steep sides, so I'm not sure if they're going to want to go ahead and do it now or just wait to see where zone ends up going to and try to pick off everybody just running to it and then just decide from there what to do. So as you can see, we're already seeing a bunch of people outside of the zone right here. A bunch of the players for Team 4 and 16 on top of the hill. Everybody right now is going to be, it's going to be EU. So Wednesday mornings I do EU. Wednesday nights I do NA, and Friday afternoon I do EU again. So here comes the zone shift. This one is going to be right here in this little gully. Team 3's compound, fortunately for them, is going to be right inside of this. So they're not going to have to go anywhere. All they really have to do is peek the windows right there on that one concrete structure on the left-hand side. And they could definitely farm a bunch of kills as people try to run into this one. Not sure if they know about the one member from Team 21 behind them. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be outside of the zone right now, so he's going to have to figure out what to do in this situation. Personally, proning doesn't let off a whole lot of sound, so with 13 seconds left, you definitely want to go ahead and start proning forward because you don't really move too quick when you're proning, so you don't want to take damage, especially this late being by yourself. So you always want to have those smokes ready to go just in case. But here comes the zone shift. So let's see what he ends up doing here. Phazon getting the thirst onto Maryland with the Uzi. Where'd he go? Did he go out? Okay. And Godspeed coming out with a double knock on the backside of the hill right here. See him moving up right here onto, well, out comes the nade. definitely put an end to that one fairly quickly. So he had to be priming that one as soon as Godspeed started moving up to that side of the hill. Probably didn't know exactly where he's at. And as soon as he heard the footsteps, let it go with like 2 seconds left on that prime and exploded right on top. So nice tactics. Definitely you want to use a bunch of equipment as often as possible. That's the one thing I've noticed watching like Asia TPP grinding and stuff like that. They use a lot more utilities than what I see in NA. So we are looking at our four final teams in this round. So we're going to have Team 14, which is going to be Oxide right there on that hill. You're going to have one player over here for Team 8 that is going to be Outlaw Gaming. Inside is going to be Ultimate Nakat German. And War Dynasty is basically going to be on the backside of this hill, waiting to see what these guys do. And here comes the zone pushing forward. I don't think these guys are within it. They're going to have to end up pushing forward just a little bit, but they could end up having to take on Team 14. They're going to be somewhat in the open right here. Hopefully they have some cover right there in that little dip. And they are trying to bring out these shots, and it is just over the dip. They're going to have to push down to the compound to get some cover. And Peace ends up taking out the last member over there for Outlaws Gaming. So this is going to bring us down to our final three teams. You can see the two players just end up coming out of the compound, and they're going to be third person peeking right there behind the wall. Peace is going to push forward to the cliff side. And let's see if they can end up making it up. I definitely don't think War Dynasty will see this coming. So here comes the zone push forward. And he ends up pushing in, double teaming him right there. So it's going to be a 2v1. And they end up working together for the dub right there. Very nice job to the players right there from the Cat. That was some awesome teamwork. And whoever made that call to go ahead and flank to the right, get to the top of that hill, very nice job to you. So we're going to go ahead and take some endgame pictures. Guys, go ahead and get the next lobby set up, and we will be back momentarily. Hi guys, welcome back for round number 3. Gonna be rocking it out on Sandhawk this round. Sandhawk is always tons and tons of action. It is nothing but ADS and basically running and gunning. So you always want to try to get a location right here off the bat in what you think is going to be the very last zone on this map. That way you don't have to do a whole lot of running, and then it's pretty much just farming kills from people running to and from the zone. So we're going to be seeing everybody jumping out simultaneously right here at the very end. We're not going to be seeing a whole lot of teams rotating to the south, kind of to the Sami, Camp Charlie area, anything like that. It does look like we're all rotating to the north. This is most likely going to be crazy right off the bat. It is a lot of teams going up there. Thank you for the follow, Nikaz. So right off the bat, we're going to get War Dynasty as well as, I think it's Team Oxide. I forgot to put my slot list back up. And it's Team 14. Yeah, so it's going to be Oxide as well as War Dynasty over here. So these two teams, literally as soon as they grabbed a gun, started shooting at each other. You can see just a little bit of damage done to one of them on the left-hand side right there. And it does look like K is going to go ahead and try to rotate out of this one. But let me look up here on this north. Let's go over here and check in with XLR8. So they're going to be on top of the hill right here, going against Team 9. He's going to go ahead and see him pre-fire, and he runs right into it. That's very unfortunate right there for Wasted. And that is going to be a double kill right here for XLR8. The last two members for Team 9 going to be just down the hill at the other compound. Not only that, but they're also going to have to worry about Team 8 at the compound just across the street from that, as well as Wesh over here for Team 10. Definitely hope Hiss doesn't get taken out by the solo rotating over here to his team, but could potentially be very deadly. So this is what happens in this map with the size that it is. You're going to get battles right off the bat almost every single time. So Hurley going to be down to just a couple HP. Not sure if they're going to have any kind of meds. End up getting picked off from two different angles at the same time. So is being shot by Test over there, as well as the rest of the team, Antifa and Sebi over here to the compound to the right. Thank you for the follow, Evo. So believe Yugi is going to be the only one over here standing for this team. And it does look like the others have already been eliminated. So this is going to be it right now for Team 19. Question is, can Yugi pull it off as a solo? So it could potentially be good. Antifa doesn't have a helmet. I'm not sure what kind of armor the rest of the team has, but oh, Antifa almost went around the tree. Let's go over here with Test. No helmet for Test either. This could be bad. That AK shreds up close. It causes so much damage when you have absolutely no armor. There's literally nothing you can do. So Yugi fortunately does have some armor, whereas doesn't look like Antifa does. What's car? Come here, I can't hear you. Watch the TV? Yeah, hold on. So Tess gonna go ahead and meet back, or sorry, Sebi. Ends up coming over to meet back up with the team. So they're going to go ahead and try to take Yugi on as a duo, but he's already one step ahead of them. He has already gone ahead and started to backtrack away from this one. So he could third person peek this rock and definitely take this team on. So So I'm going to rotate over here to Team 21 at this point. As you can see, they're going to be just over the top of the hill right here from Groza. So we're going to go ahead and hear some shots coming out from Quiet up here on the top of the hill. Quiet is definitely not being too quiet with that M4. Fortunately, landing a couple shots over there onto Van Dam. This is going to go ahead and give him the opportunity to go ahead and move over to a different location. That's the one thing I preach every time I stream. You never want to continue to place the same shots from the same location. Somebody could just be sitting there hard peeking from a different location, you not knowing it. And as soon as you pop your head up, it only takes that one shot from the Car 9 M24 if they're close enough to go ahead and get that knock. So I always say couple shots, go ahead and get back in, come up from location that's just a little bit and try to rotate back and forth between them. Catch them guessing at where you're going to be shooting from. Just never hard peek over and over from the same location. You don't want to make it easy for these guys. So I believe that is going to be it for Sebi and Team 11 over here. Question is, did Yugi end up living this one out? Because it does look like Team 18 Backstab ended up coming in and third partying this one. As far as I can tell, it does look like they ended up taking Team 11 as well as Yugi, last one standing for his team. So let's see how many kills. So they are going to have 2. And they may or may not have to worry about Team 14 directly behind these guys. Does look like Cross is running across the bridge, whereas the rest of the team, I believe, ended up swimming under. Fortunately for them, they really won't have a whole long way to go to get to this zone. Question is the next one going to be a giant hardship? That's one thing that we do see. Actually, no, this one stayed up to the north. They should be pretty good. So Rowdy's going to be inside of this one-room shack, going to throw a nade directly out, trying to get these last couple shots onto Apollo. He is down to just 1 HP at this point. Also going to have to worry about MVP Gaming just off in the distance, trying to third-party this, get either Apollo or Rowdy. I believe they're definitely trying to get both. And as you can see, as soon as Rowdy came out, they ended up taking shots on him, taking probably about half of his HP away. Apollo peeks out with 2 HP and lands the last couple shots with that Uzi and ends up getting all of the meds that he had. So that definitely worked out in Apollo's favor right there. So I'm going to rotate up here to Team 8 at this point. I do see Team Air not too far away from these guys. They're at the compound buildings to the Berry backside. What's up, Scar? The new Frozen? Okay. And I'm going to rotate over here to these couple teams. We're going to be seeing a trio all together over here. We're going to see MVP Delta just right there. Godspeed, unfortunately, is going to be knocked for this team. Accelerate is going to be right here, as well as Nakat. So you can see Fletch over here is trying to figure out where Accelerate is currently at. And that is going to be a knock right there onto Fletch. Fletch from Sparky. Ended up being prone right here in the grass, taking advantage of that one. And as you can see, the other two members of his team going to be pretty spread out from him. Hopefully, Janet can get something going on the other side of this hill. You can see Rangers trying to push from the left-hand side of the rock. Here come Hiss. And gonna get a knock with the Uzi. And his teammate's gonna be right there to go ahead and back him up in this situation. So he's gonna attempt to crawl back to Apollo at this point. And that does give Iman the opportunity to go ahead and push forward, get the revive onto Godspeed, while Team 22 and Accelerate go ahead and battle this one off. Rasak is going to be more towards the top of this one, third-person peek in the rock. Surprised he didn't try to take shots at these two guys while they were going for that revive. See Godspeed go ahead and heal up as quickly as possible, drop down prone, and it did look like they were going to go ahead and start proning over here towards XLR8. And here comes MVP Gaming for Team 5. They're going to come in right behind Team 22 and go ahead and, I believe, take one out really quick. And what is that? Jantier is going to get low on HP. Fortunately, he's going to have some heals. And most likely just going to lay there and hopefully they leave him alone. So we're going to see a small little zone shift. This one's going to come down to the southwest a tiny bit. Boot camp going to be in the northwestern corner. And let's go over here and see what Team 18 and Team 3 are currently... What's up, Scar? Your wig? I'm not sure. I can look after this game. It's almost over, okay? Okay. Thank you for the follow, Deshaun. So we're seeing a knock coming from War Dynasty right here onto one of the members from Team 18. Let's see if MSSR can go ahead and push down. Lands the last couple shots. And unfortunately, Team 18, oh, never mind. I was just too high up in the air. I thought instead of going for the shots onto the members for Team 3, they just went for the thirst. And I was about to say, I know how that feels. I have had that happen a bunch in scrims. When a team knows they are not going to win a battle, they are going to try to thirst every knock they have before they go out. So Danny's going to get knocked, and I believe they're going to try to thirst. And I'm not sure what direction these are shots are coming from. I think they're coming from two different locations completely. I think Nakat is trying to play some shots, stealing it away. I didn't see who it came from the kill feed. It could either be Team 20 just off in the distance or Prism over there for Team 12. And as you can see, they are landing some very good shots onto Marilyn behind the tree. Ends up using the smoke for some cover to get over to the team, and they get her down to 1 HP. All it took was one bullet. They ended up landing as they jumped through the air. Definitely a bunch of bullets, and just couldn't pull it off. Out comes the nade with some distance, threw it at the smoke. If that would have been thrown at the rock, that would have been absolutely perfect. So the only way I see Team 5 getting out of the situation right now, because they're being boxed in, they're going to want to go ahead and smoke off the angles right here away from the cat. They're going to want to put a smoke line all in front of those rocks so they can make their rotation away. If it were me, I'd probably go ahead and backtrack and make my way along these little rock structures all the way to the left. The only problem is these teams over here on the backside of the hill, all of them are now going to start moving forward. So the longer they wait, the harder this is going to be onto them. Fortunately for MVP Gaming right here, they do have militia there off to the left-hand side to provide some cover fire. Out comes a knock onto one of the players from the cat. That's going to go ahead and give them the opportunity to go ahead and push forward. But they end up getting a knock onto Maryland as soon as they go ahead and start pushing. So Bray, I believe is what that says, is going to go for the revive right here onto Yume. And can Maryland get over here to Danny? That nade does have the distance, gets the knock onto Yume once again. And let's see if Bray can get it. That one's going to be just too far to the left. And I believe that's going to be a smoke from their team. That's going to be a knock from Militia. Ended up going for the very hard flank. Gets a double knock behind that rock. That is now going to give Maryland and Danny the opportunity to go ahead and push forward. They should be able to get those thirsts off and then worry about peace as they go ahead and start pushing up this mountain. And they land a bunch of shots right there onto Peace. Danny gets knocked in the meantime. And they get third-partied from Team 20 as they're pushing forward through the compound. So this is what I said at the very beginning about Sandhawk. You are constantly going to be running and gunning. So you have to be very good at ADSing while running, because you're going to be trying to place as many shots off as possible running away from this zone. And I believe Nexus ends up taking down Sonya from what I saw through the kill feed. Fortunately for Team 12, they're still going to have 3 players still standing. What you doing, Scar? And now they're going to get a knock on to Revy. Do you want to watch? Show everybody your red hair. Ah. Let's go over here with Team 10. They are going to be taking on Team 14 just on the backside of that zone. I like your red hair. It looks crazy in the camera. Yeah. Pause. So he's going to go ahead and lay prone right here behind this rock. As you can see, Team 8 is going to be off in the distance. They're definitely going to want to try to take shots on this man right now. Acello can definitely do some crazy third-party action, especially when you don't even know he's there. So Oxide coming to the backside of this compound now. And they are trying to take down Team 10 at this point. So you're going to see Lazy on the backside of the compound directly ahead. I believe Wesh is inside. And here comes the blue zone. They're going to have no other choice but to go ahead and start pushing forward. They could definitely go for some knocks right here. Out comes one from Wesh. And Lazy ends up getting knocked coming across. And they're just going to go ahead and try to thirst these ones before they go out themselves. And I believe this is going to be it for Team 14, and it is. Are you just looking at yourself in the camera? So 2 players from Team A making it through right there. They're going to have a solo phase just over here. Out comes a nice nade onto Diana. Ends up exploding literally as soon as it comes right in between the 2 rocks. Out comes one more, and it is going to be a thirst, and they are going to be down to a 2-man. Bambi is going to be down to a couple HP, has the opportunity to go ahead and heal up, and out comes FaZe with the push forward, trying to spray through the smoke. And Bambi tries to push forward to the rock, ends up getting knocked, but it's just down to Yatum. And Team 15 has been eliminated. And I believe XLRA just won the battle over here with, what? I didn't see the number, I apologize. I know the clan tag is ETER. So we're going to be down to our 4 final teams at this point. And we're going to see a knock over here onto Valve. And Team 3, I believe, is going to go ahead and flanking to the right. You can see K is slowly moving up on the very edge of blue zone. Possibly coming in right here on the backside of, what was that, Kedik? And Team 3 is not going to go ahead and start pushing forward. Teammate's going to pop some smokes for some cover and just go prone. These are our 3 final teams for this round. And it is just down to Chillax over here for Team A. Nade coming out, gets him down to just 1 HP, but it just wasn't enough to get that knock. And they're going to go ahead and push forward. Gets a knock onto 1. And unfortunately, K is right there to go ahead and land the last couple shots. So it's just going to be down to Banger and Rasak over here for XLR8. So we're looking at a 4v2 for this round ender. So let's see how this one ends up finishing. So they're both going to go ahead and heal up as much as possible, go ahead and pop some boost to make their push forward. Unfortunately for them, this is going to be a little tricky. War Dynasty definitely has the zone in their favor. Right now, they're really going to have no option except to go ahead and push forward. Here comes the zone now. And Banger ends up getting knocked, so it is just going to be down to Rasak, and I believe that is it. War Dynasty is going to be the victors of our 3rd round. So I'm going to go ahead and take some endgame pictures real quick, go ahead and get the next round set up, and then we will be back for one more. I believe the next round is going to be Vikendi, but honestly, I can't remember. But we will be back in, I believe, 10 minutes, guys, so just stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back for our final round today. He's trying to get your head in there. And we're going to be playing Bikini this round. Plane line's going to go from Trevno all the way just past Dobro. You're too short. It's right here, though. Not right there. Right here. So everybody should be almost out of the plane by now. And we should have a couple teams dropping together just like last round. Good part about Vikendi, it is not short of compounds and loot. This map, in my opinion, is stacked. The only thing I have a hard time on with this map, vehicles. I don't know why, but they're like the mysterious being that doesn't exist. Let's go ahead and check in with Team 4 and Team 12 over here. It's going to be Prism and... Careful. And what is Team 4? That is going to be MVP Delta. So we're going to be seeing a knock coming out onto Buzz. Let's go over here with Angela. She is right in the middle of all of this right here. And going to come out with a knock onto Hellboy. MP5K definitely, in my opinion, I love this guy. I wish it was on every map. I also missed the UMP-9. I think the UMP-45 is just straight garbage. The UMP-9 was amazing. Please bring it back, 10 Cent, if you were listening. Huh? You have to go closer to his car. I just don't want my microphone to pick it up, okay? So Revy's going to go ahead and post up on the rock right here. Unfortunately, Angela gets knocked right there by Fletch. This is now going to give MVP the opportunity to go ahead and flank to the left. As you can see, Hellboy is going to be down to just a couple HP. And it is going to be a three-man push on the left-hand side. They're going to be coming up right behind the rock right here on the backside of the compound Angela is knocked inside of. And Revy is going to go ahead and back off of this situation. Going to get knocked by Godspeed through the window right there. And this is just going to leave it down to Sonya for the rest of this round. Oh, for some reason she wasn't rendering it on my screen. So they're going to go ahead and thirst their knocks just in front of us. Let's see what everybody else is up to in the meantime. I see some teams on top of each other over here and a knock onto Zano, I believe. So currently going to be spectating in with Team 14. This is going to be Oxide. Just in front of them is going to be Buzzkill. And you're trying to land some shots onto Diana through that window right there. But now they're going to go ahead and basically surround this building and try to move up and get these last couple. And in comes a nade, but it is not going to... No, never mind. Take that back. That's going to be a smoke. And ends up being shot through the... What was that? That was a ridiculous angle. That was insane. That was awesome. Whoever... Let's see if this works. No. So my button is not set up properly to put in a stream marker. But I do give you props. That was an amazing angle to go ahead and get that final knock. I'm going to work my way over here to Echo of Triumph, and they are going to be taking on Backstab probably any second at this point. And Sparky ends up getting knocked by a Biza on top of the building straight ahead of him. Out comes the Molly. Definitely would have done quite a bit of damage right there onto Apollo and four-way. Sellers, from what I can tell, going to be rotating along the wall back here. Definitely trying for the hard flank on these guys, but four-way ended up coming down and stopping them from the full rotate. In the meantime, let's see what everyone else is currently up to. I do see Team 5 is going to be rotating into the vicinity of Team 8 down there into the Villanova area. Other than that, possibly Team 4 and Team 17 going at each other. So let's go ahead and check out Accelerate and MVP and see how this battle unfolds over here. Maybe a knock on the Godspeed from what I can tell up there? So they're going to go ahead and get him back up. As you can see, Hisk is going to be off to the left, ends up getting knocked by Fletch. Jacko ends up pushing up on the right-hand side, and Eamon is going to be right there to go ahead and fend that one off. And I believe that is going to be it for those guys in this area. As far as I can tell, they may have some more people still standing. Well, let's go ahead and check back in over here with Away as they go ahead and possibly try to take down the last member for Team 18. As you can see, Ibiza still going to be on top of that building, gets the knock onto Sparky as they go ahead and walk all through these streets right here. And I'm going to go ahead and first person spectate in on him. And for a second, I thought he may have gotten knocked right there. He's going to go ahead and bounce back and forth between these building rooftops and try to figure out some kind of angles on these guys. But he's going to go ahead and jump off, make his rotation down into the other compounds now and come out through the backside. And it does look like they are going to try to chase him down. As you can see, Apollo is now moving into this area now as well. And they're both going to go ahead and third-person peek the side of this building. And unfortunately for Ibiza, Away ended up coming in from the right-hand side of the building, jumped, and basically fired in the air. And Ibiza really had no time to react on that one. So other than that, seeing just a few teams outside of the zone at this point. Definitely hope these guys can find vehicles to make their rotation in. Like I said earlier, sometimes it is somewhat difficult to find a vehicle on this map. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because the snow bikes and the snowmobiles sometimes tend to blend in, and I'm used to looking for Dacias and UAZs. Other than that, it's not really probably anything gonna happen in this zone. We're gonna see a zone shift, and it's only gonna go to the northeast just a tiny bit. Fraction of this is gonna be water. We are gonna have the couple bridges heading to the tip of this island still within. Nakat most likely not going to have any issues. Nobody's going to be bridge camping over there, as well as the bridge outside of Podvasto. But Team 11 right here, as you can see, is going to be right across, and they will have an angle on that bridge if teammate tries to go ahead and go across. They're also going to have to worry about Team 19 if they end up stopping right there at the very edge of this zone. But as far as I can tell right now, it does look like they went ahead and decided to keep rotating forward. So they're just going to take some shot at these guys. Definitely nothing landing on that attempt. Let's go ahead and stay here with Team 21 now. Can they land the shots on whatever you want to call that vehicle? I like how fast that thing is, but it doesn't take any damage whatsoever. So let's rotate up here to this little cluster of teams over here. We're going to go ahead and check in with Team 11 right off the bat. It's going to be Omega Dragons. Not sure what that was. So they're going to be broken up into a 2-2 split. Tess going to come out with a knock across the street onto one of the members for MVP Delta. And only problem is they can't really go off of that one. By the time they get over there, as you can see, the duo end up pushing over, but that member is already back up. So if you're going to get a knock, you literally have to have your vehicles ready, everything ready to go. Literally, as soon as Antifa jumped out of that vehicle, knock right there through that open. So Sebi ends up getting knocked right there on that left-hand side. Let's see if Tess can now go ahead and move in with Brody to eliminate Fletch. Fletch, the last one standing for MVP Delta at this point. Out comes the nade, doesn't have the distance. And if that was a nade, I feel like it would have been a lot more deadly. But just happened that it was off by what? Like a foot or two right there? So here we see the push forward from Brody and Tess. Tess ends up getting knocked, but caused enough damage to where Brody could go ahead and push forward and land the last 1 to 2 bullets to take that 1 HP away. So Team 11 gonna be rocking 7 kills this round. Let me spectate in with Team 8. Let's see if they can get some knocks out of these vehicles as Team 21 rotates by. Honcho over there taking some damage from these guys. And at this point, going to be cut off from the rest of their team. So really not a whole lot of action going on. It's just tons of rotating in this zone. Basically what I call this zone is it's not really anybody trying to take on action. It's them preparing for where they think final zone is going to end up going. They're going to basically try to gain some kind of compound to take over and try to put up the best possible fight. So we're going to go over here to Team 19 at this point. We're going to see a knock over here onto Hurley as the rest of the team attempts to push forward over here onto Team 9. Link's coming out with a knock onto Lynn. Ghost still standing for Team 9. As you can see, Yugi is trying to get on top of the vehicle, or sorry, on top of the compound to the right, trying to third-person peek it, trying to give the location away of the last standing member over here for Come Get Some. And here comes the push in from Team 10 as well. They're going to come in on the right-hand side. Lazy going to jump out of the vehicle, use it for cover, and doesn't know Ghost is right there. So fortunately for Team 9, this gave them the opportunity to go ahead and get their players back up. And it is absolutely devastating to Team 19 right now. They went from having, what was it, a 3 or a 4-man to losing Hurley and Lynn. The only one standing at this point for Team 10 is going to be Wesh. Nade coming out from Harami over here for Team 9. And unfortunately just didn't have the distance to it. Wesh trying to rotate back to the compound, ends up taking a couple shots into the back before he can get through the doorway. What's up? What's up, Scar? Yeah? Color? Can you wait till I'm done? Or can you grab them and then put them up over there? Okay. Out comes the nade onto Yugi from Wasted. Definitely had the distance to it. But he ended up hearing it and backing off just enough to where he wouldn't get knocked. So Team 19 is down to a one-man right now. Wesh is the only one standing right here for Team 10. Ends up getting the knock onto Wasted as soon as he pushes in through the doorway. And two players end up rushing through and get the knock onto Wasted. You want to color over there? Here you go. And we're going to see a shift left just a little bit from this zone. Let's go over here and check in with War Dynasty. And as you can see, Peace is going to be right there on the backside of this hill. MSSR going to be moving in from the left-hand side. And ends up taking out the last member from the cat. So I'm going to go over here, rotate to Team 22. And away ends up getting taken down. But fortunately for him, Janty was right there to go ahead and provide some very nice cover fire and ends up eliminating, not sure what team it was because their names didn't render in on my screen for some reason. But let's go ahead over here to Team 11. Zone gonna shift to the south. So pretty much all of our teams except for 2 outside of this zone. Gonna go over here to Team 20. This is gonna be Eternal Silver. And they're going to be taking on Groza. So we're looking at a 2v2 at this point. The third member for Eternal Silver is going to be off just across the street. Let's see if they can go for a wide angle on these guys as they try to back off this situation. How does he not see him going across the field? And out comes a shot right there. He ends up getting knocked in the complete open field. So Groza going to be down to a one-man now. Eternal Silver going to be down to a two-man. In comes the blue zone. I don't see either one of these players getting back up at this point. It's basically going to come down to does Twist ends up gatekeeping the last 2 players alive for Team 20. Wason Jr. ends up hopping in a vehicle, going as wide around as possible. Can they get in before the zone gets the knock? And unfortunately not able to. But Owen ends up taking out the last member up there. So at least they're going to get something out of it. So we're going to be seeing probably some players going out to the play zone as they make their rotation in. I believe the eastern side of this one is going to be dangerous. Let's check in with Team 16 right here. From as far as I can tell, they're trying to play some shots onto these last couple members over here for Team 9. And then you're going to have Yugi rocking it out for Team 19 over there. I believe just got taken out by a nade. Team 21 Criminals going to have 2 members still standing. So we're going to have 8 teams still up in this round, 20 people still alive. Let's go over here and check in with Omega Dragons. So you can see one of the players for Team 8 rotating up on the hillside right there. And they're going to be going around into, well, I thought Team 22, but it looks like now they're going to be coming back around right here behind the compound that Team 11's currently in. There's going to be one player also knocked on top of the on the backside of the rock over there for Team 21. And a single knock for Team 8. Definitely not going to have the single back up for Team 8. But Sebi is going to get taken down right there by Honcho. Gets knocked and thirsted like crazy quick on that. And here comes the zone. Let's see what Neon does right here. And can they get the heal off? And it doesn't look like it. The play zone is going to go ahead and eliminate them. That now brings us down to our final 5 teams. And Antifa gonna get knocked by Sozin and gets thirsted. And the solo for teammate right here is gonna go ahead and push forward, try to meet up with their one teammate over here. And away is gonna be right there in this bush. Technically, if he were to just have aim assist on and fires in that direction, could probably get 2 kills really easy. So I'm not big on aim assist. The only 2 times I will ever turn it on is that situation that he's in right here. Final circle, laying down prone, or just spraying through smoke. Both those times, I only want to have aim assist on because I want to get absolutely lucky and possibly get any knock I can. Other than that, I turn aim assist completely off because when multiple people rush you, aim assist doesn't put bullets on one. It'll try to put all your bullets on multiple people rushing in. So it could be an absolute death trap when multiple people try to push you. So Wei ends up being taken out right here by Team 8. This is now our final 3 teams in this round. We're looking at War Dynasty, and Outlaws Gaming, and, well, I didn't get the last one off, but we're looking at our final 2 now. Out comes a long nade from Evo. Actually, Molly. That has some crazy accurate distance to it. Faye is going to get knocked right there. And that is going to be it. I believe War Dynasty ends up being the victor of that round. I believe that's their 2nd win of today. So very nice job to those guys. I'm going to go ahead and take some endgame pictures, guys. That is going to be our last round today. So I do thank all of you for tuning in, for all of the follows on whatever social media platform you're currently watching on, and to all of those that basically went to all of my I can't see it. All my platforms that gave me multiples, definitely appreciate it. Like I said earlier, I'm new to Trovo, trying to grow that channel as quickly as possible. I mainly aim for Twitch, but because of the program that I'm in with these guys, I definitely want to focus on that one. So, as much as I'd love to hit $1,000 on Twitch first, until I'm no longer in the creator program for Trovo, I definitely want to go for that one first. So if you guys don't mind, please head over to Trovo and Twitch. Give me a follow on both if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. Just gonna go ahead and take some end game pictures and send them in for these guys, and I'll be back later tonight. Right now, for everybody that currently watches me on like the NA stuff, this is an EU event that I've been doing for a couple weeks now. So if you guys want to tune in tonight for some NA stuff, I'll be back around what 7:50 tonight Eastern Standard Time, and we'll go ahead and get some NA action in. Other than that, I'll be back Friday around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing some scrims for Tip Top Esports and CN1. So definitely look for those pings when you get them. And like I said earlier, please guys, head over to Twitch, head over to Trovo, hit that follow button, and I will see you guys later tonight.